The water crisis in Flint, Michigan, putting water systems around the country under the microscope. It began 3 years ago when officials in Flint stopped buying water from Detroit, using water from the Flint River instead. When kids started testing positive for lead poisoning, scientists ran tests and found incredibly dangerous levels of the toxin in the water. Now, we are surrounded by water here in the Low Country, but how much thought do you give to what's in your sinks, showers, and glasses? News 2's consumer investigator Libba Holland joins us now with more on what's being done to avoid a Flint-like crisis here. Libba?
Brendan, think about all of the historic homes in downtown Charleston and those in surrounding towns and counties. The reality is any home built before the 1980s could still have lead pipes. The water companies in our area test water for lead every 3 years, but I wanted to test it now. This is chemist Jason Thompson. We woke up Will Cantliner at 7:30 in the morning to test his water on Bull Street downtown.
Go ahead and go to the cold water side. Just stick the bottle underneath the tap, turn it on. We're going to run it until we fill it up. We take
the absolute first draw. That means the college students who rent this place haven't used any water for 6 to 8 hours.
The important thing is that it is a worst case scenario. So the longer the water is in contact with the pipes, the lead and copper, the higher potentially you could have leaching of lead.
Part of the reason I came to Charleston is because it's a beautiful city with a great water scene.
Surfboard.
Yeah, I'm in Charleston, come on.
Will lives here with 3 roommates. A College of Charleston senior, water quality never crossed his mind.
I came from Louisville, Kentucky, which is generally considered one of the cleanest tap water in the nation. So I've just always grown up having clean tap water.
Most water utilities are doing what they need to do by law to make sure that we don't have these kind of problems.
So I took this water to the lab.
Bring the pH down to 2.
We let the sample sit for 24 hours.
This is our graphite furnace.
In the meantime, we take a different sample that's ready for testing to this machine. It heats up to 1800 degrees Celsius. Once it takes the sample, the heat burns the water away. The machine detects what remains and then is able to tell how much lead may be in there.
The detection limit of the instrument is 1 part per billion, so it's below detection limits.
So that means it's good.
Yes.
And so the water comes down into the reservoir that way.
To Andy Ferry, water is more than just a liquid. It's what solidifies a community.
If you have ever been to a country where there is no water or they don't have clean water and watch how they live, water is essential for life. It's essential for economic development.
He's the operations manager for Charleston Water System, and he's seen Charleston's water at its worst.
This is a piece of an old lead service line that was taken out probably over 20 years ago.
When the government passed the Lead and Copper Law in 1992, it required all utilities to test its water for lead. When Charleston did that,
we had the distinction of being the highest number in the nation.
So think of all the utilities across the entire nation. Charleston had 211 parts per billion of lead in their samples. A normal reading can be up to 15 parts per billion. Scientists began adding phosphoric acid to the water supply. That coated the pipes, and it prevents the lead from coming in contact with the water.
The lead levels began to drop as it coated the pipes, and the first draw samples fell down underneath the lead action limit and has remained there to this day.
Here's a look at the most recent tests from Mount Pleasant Waterworks and the town of Somerville. They all meet the standards.
We watch water quality very closely. We monitor it over 150 points across the distribution system. We monitor water coming into the plant, water coming out of the plant.
Mr. Matt Elliott's humble abode.
So for Will's case, he hopes he's safe to continue to live in this old downtown Charleston home.
It's just a very quiet, nice part of town. I can go for a nice walk to the Battery. It's just a little over a mile.
So here I have them, the test results from his home right here. They came back showing less than 0.001 milligrams per liter, and that meets the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's standards, and the water is safe for Will and his roommates to drink. You can request a test yourself from your water utility company. For Charleston Water System customers, that test is free, 1 per year. Reporting live in the studio this evening, Libba Holland, News 2.
Thank you, Libba. Remember, if you have something you want us to investigate, email us at iteam@wcbd.com. You can also call the iTeam hotline, 843-216-4949.